plan. That's what you have before you tonight. Conditional use permits are regulated in state statute much the same as rezonings and special use permits, so that's the review criteria that you see in your staff report. Additionally, Chapter 15 of the City Code requires a gas and oil permit through the governing body, and that does outline some additional requirements, an annual permit, and the permit is actually per pump, not per project. Character of the surrounding area. This is the subject property. It is along West 159th Street, and Kill Creek Road dead ends into the property. It's currently zoned A, as is the property to the north and directly to the west. Property to the east is still in the county, and then the property to the south is zoned partially A, partially residential. It's developed with a sanitary sewer treatment facility and also Celebration Park. This is a snippet of the current comprehensive plan. The blue box is the subject property. The comprehensive plan identifies the property as low-density residential, and then the overlay color that runs through that is riparian corridor, which is where the creek and the floodplain cross the property. The corresponding zoning districts for future development for low-density residential outlined in the comprehensive plan are R1 single-family residential and R2 two-family districts. The plan also promotes development in defined growth areas based on fiscally responsible utility infrastructure and annexation plans. The city and the school district have invested a large amount of tax money into this area with the idea that growth was going in this direction. The sewer facilities through the benefit district, the Kill Creek treatment facility, Celebration Park, which is a large park, and then the school just south of the park. Those have all been invested in for the community with the comprehensive plan in mind and the potential future development. Unfortunately, it didn't happen as soon as anybody had anticipated because of the markets failing and such, but those investments have been made, and the city would still anticipate growth happening in that direction because of those investments. If you also have a draft comprehensive plan before you tonight, you will see that the future land use plan in that also identifies this property in the adjacent area as low-density residential. Staff feels that using the property for oil production in the meantime could create gaps in development, could affect nearby community facilities as described, and have possible negative impacts from the wells and the tank batteries visually and potentially environmentally. Some economic impacts to the community. Again, just the amount of taxpayer money that the city and the school district has invested in this area, with the plans saying that growth will come here next. In summary, the comprehensive plan identifies the area's low-density residential development. Staff believes that the oil wells could hinder or significantly delay future development. Again, the significant investment in community money and the potential hazards associated with oil wells and oil production. Staff does recommend the Planning Commission hold a public hearing and then forward the request and associated site plan for the oil and gas wells on property located on the north side of the intersection of West 159th Street and Kill Creek Road to the City Council with a recommendation for denial.
Thank you. Do we have the applicant present this evening for a presentation?
Good evening. My name is John Gilchrist with the law firm of Payne & Jones, 11,000 King Street, Overland Park, Kansas, 66210. Also with me this evening have some additional gentlemen that will be speaking as well. I have Keith Brock and Scott Ryburn with the law firm of Anderson & Bird, located in Ottawa, Kansas. I also have Kenton Hupp, a licensed petroleum engineer with the firm of KLH Consulting from Wichita, Kansas as well. The applicant, although it's designated as one of the 7 owners of the property, Russell Family LLC, the application does list all 7 owners of the property, and they are also support this application as well. There are several items in your packet that came along with the application. The site plan, there was a report from a geologist. In response to the city staff's request, we submitted some additional documents. After receiving the staff report, we also submitted a response document, which should be in your packet, as well as the reserve report that was prepared by Mr. Hupp, and that should be in your packet as well. In the response, there should have been a letter that was addressed to the mayor and the city council from 2013, which kind of went into a lot of detail about the history of this property, history of the ownership, and really gets into the fact that they've been trying to market this property since 1999 in various different ways. They've sold certain tracts along the way. They've sold a tract to the school district and some other individuals. And again, it was everyone's hope that development would occur. The request was made for annexation of the property, and pursuant to an agreement reached with the city earlier, the property was also involved in a sewer benefit district to put in sewers in the area, again for development purposes. Unfortunately, 2008 rolled around, and it just basically sent everything to a standstill, not only in Gardner, but most of the area. No property has really been bought or sold, and just until recently in some parts of Johnson County and some of the other cities. My clients have been trying to market this property, like I said, since 1999. They have had different realtors. They've made presentations. We've worked with the city staff on numerous ideas and proposals. Unfortunately, it's just not happening. And the property owners are trying to find a way to get the sewer benefit district assessments paid along the way. The assessments are quite large, and the property owners are trying to come up with a way other than agricultural farming, which is not going to pay the bills. And in looking around the area, you'll notice that there are many, many oil wells in Gardner and around the city limits. In particular, there are a lot of wells adjacent on the north and the east and west sides of the property. And Michelle, if you could. And this was also included in your packet, so if it's easier to see, you might just refer to this information that was in the original application. The red box identified here is